Hey, what's good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic video for you guys. Very informative, guys. I need you to really pay attention to this story, because this is the best story that I could ever tell you, and this lets me further know, Doc, you are officially back in the Philippines, all right? But before the story starts, I hope you guys get the likes up on the video. Definitely make sure you subscribe to the Dr. Mike TV channel. That would be super awesome. Make sure you give it 2 thumbs up if you can. Caress and molest that like button. You know it wants it, you know it needs it, okay? Everything that you need should be listed in a link in the description area below, should I choose to link it in the description area below. Okay, so Doc's been back in Manila a couple days now, you know, back in the Philippines and stuff, just getting my footing and getting everything back in order, and it's awesome, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I promise you I'm gonna deliver some more content coming soon. So, you know, my shirt's a little wrinkly, don't judge me, come on, I just woke up. One thing that let me get this out the way. One thing that I do hate about vacations sometimes is, you know, when you're lacking a schedule or when you're, you know, jet lagged and all that stuff, you seem to sleep a whole lot more than you normally would, so you kind of miss out on some good stuff, you know, being able to go out and explore and do things like that. So it's kind of, you got late nights and, you know, late mornings and stuff, waking up like 12 noon and shit. It sucks, guys. But you know what? Like I said, man, I'm just getting my footing back. I got time. That's the beautiful thing about Doc's time. Doc's got time. Fuck it. Let's go ahead and get into the story, okay? So I went to the money changer today. And where the money changer is located, it is inside of a remittance place. A place where you can claim money, whether it be local, domestic, or international, okay? So I was inside of this place, I grabbed my number, I sat down waiting for them to call me so that I could change out my dollars to pesos. You know, Doc was trying to change a couple of pennies into some pesos and shit, you know, so that I could use some local currency. You know, Doc ain't rich. But I was sitting right here, and next to me was a couple. It was a young lady and a young man, probably in their 20s or something like that. And you know, my Tagalog's a little rusty. I mean, damn, I just got back. My Tagalog is a little off a little bit, but I could keep up with the majority of the conversation. You know, Doc be eavesdropping and shit. So what I made out of the conversation for what I cared to listen to was, are you sure he sent the money? From what I could make out of that conversation, what I heard was, are you sure he sent the money? Okay, so I'm sitting here paying attention, and they call a name, and I guess it's the girl's name, right? So the girl goes running to the counter. She's talking to the young lady behind the counter, gives her her ID, all of that stuff. I think she ended up claiming about the equivalent to about $200. I think the lady says, okay, mom, cash out to like 10,000 pesos or something like that. 10,000, 11,000 pesos and shit like that. So she was like, the lady kept asking questions like, okay, where's the money being sent from? Like, United States. I guess she couldn't read the card or something like that, but I could hear the conversation. It wasn't too loud, but you could hear it. She's like, where's the money coming from? You know, where, you know, who's the sender's name? I'm not gonna say his name. We'll just say his name was John Smith. And next thing I know, you know, she's collecting the money, and the guy next to me, he was like, oh shit, he actually sent the money, and they walked out. Now, a lot of us can take this conversation multiple different directions and multiple different perspectives, but I'm gonna tell you what I think happened and what I could almost bet my last centavo on to be accurate about the situation that I just witnessed in front of my face right here inside of a remittance claim station. She got her a foreign Joe, or a foreigner John, to send her money, and the young lady got the money, and said person with her, I know was her boyfriend, because when they walked out they were holding hands, 1. Number 2, as soon as they walked outside, because Doc, now I'm triggered because I'm listening to the conversation and I'm bored as hell while I'm waiting for my number. you know, I see her give him money. Now, she didn't give him all of the money, but I saw her give him money. You holding hands, you giving them money. Somebody gonna get their drink on tonight, man. Not gonna lie. Somebody is gonna have them a good night on a foreigner's dime. I try to encourage my foreigners on many different levels to refrain from sending money unless you know that that woman is yours. My current situation and what I lived through and what I'm doing, I know my situation, okay? So me sending money would be different than me telling you why you should not send money. I'm not gonna say that I don't do it. Hell, man. I mean, like I said, I'm in it's full blown, okay? God damn it, it's all in or nothing. You know, that's kind of where we stand. So I can't say the same for everybody's relationship. If you've been with yours around the same amount of time that I've been with mine, you'll understand. But in the newer formed relationships, or if you just met this girl overseas and you're trying to be her Western Union poppy, salute to the homeboy in Sasua who made that video. I love that video. It always sticks out in my mind, where the Western Union poppies are the guys that meet up girls overseas and they hook up with them, and then even though they're back in the United States, they still continue to send money to them, you know, while they're in their foreign country. All right, so I say that to say this, guys. I like to make sure that I focus on my gentlemen when I say this, because you gotta be careful who you fucking with. You gotta be careful who you messing with, because you never know what is happening on the other end of the spectrum. You never know what's happening on the other end of the world, and you never know what's happening with the money that you send. Maybe, just maybe, the young lady said, I need money for this, that, and the other, tuition, whatever, this, that, and the other. And maybe, just maybe, she used the money for whatever she asked the money to be sent for. But the majority of the time, when they ask for money, they normally ask for a little bit more than they need. Let's say the amount that she received was 10 grand. Maybe she only needed 4 or 5 of that, legitly. So she's pocketing an extra 5,000 pesos. You feel me? So, you know, that's normally how the situation goes. I mean, shit, why not ask for more if you can get more, right? But I want my gentlemen to pay attention to this one. For those of you guys who choose to send money to women overseas, you have to, first things first, be willing to accept the L. Let me talk about that. You got to be willing to accept the loss, because you're probably going to lose. You're going to lose sometimes. Sometimes you're going to lose. What do I mean by that? Sometimes you're just gonna have to take a loss on the money. As in, maybe the young lady you thought was real wasn't real. I encourage you not to do it, but at the end of the day, I know some of you guys are gonna send money anyway. I can't help the fact that I understand that some of you guys are gonna send money. The reason you're gonna send money is basically simple and plain. The money that you're sending is not enough to hurt your pockets. So if it's not enough to hurt your pockets and you feel like you're donating or putting it towards a good cause, you don't mind sending it. You know what I'm saying? If you can afford $100, you'll send it. If you can afford $200, you'll send it. Why? Because it's no skin off your back. You know what I'm saying? That's no different than what you put in a collection plate at church. If you believe in paying your tithes and offering, you put your 10% to church. Call it what you call a spade and keep it moving on, right? You do what you have to do. Like I said, it does depend on your religious beliefs, but let's not focus on that. I'm just saying, if it's not gonna hurt your pockets to give the money, you'll give it. Not knowing what you're giving it for. Not knowing that you're possibly contributing to somebody else's habits. Somebody else's drinking habit. Somebody else's drug habit. Not knowing what your money is actually going for. Mother always told me a real thing, and I said this before in a video, and I will say it one more time. My mother said, when you give something and you're giving it for a reason that was brought to your attention. Let's say somebody says, you know, Doc, I need money for this. This is what I need it for. I promise you this is what I'm going to spend it for. You're giving the money because you're under the assumption that you're giving the money for this cause. What happens once they receive the money, whether they use it for their cause or not, is not your problem. You gave it for a good reason. You understand? You gave it for a good reason. That's the point that needs to be made. Okay? So I say that to say this, ladies and gentlemen. Doc just wanted to make sure that I get this particular thing out of the way. I loved it. It was an awesome experience. It let me further know that this is something that's really happening on this side of the world, and I want my gentlemen to be careful. I want my gentlemen to be aware. What you send your money for may not always be what it is going to be spent on. So with that being said, keep that in the back of your mind when you're dealing with young ladies anywhere in the world, not just in the Philippines, okay? Let's not get it twisted, all right? So with that being said, Doc is officially out. Alis na ko pa alam, which means I'm going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mga kita, mabuhay. Peace.